What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, worlds? I am Vian, and we are back with another episode of our Raging Loop Let's Play slash walkthrough up until chapter 4. And my voice still sounds weird. I'm still recuperating, but happily so. I no longer have the colds. It's just that my voice is still pretty much weird sounding, so I apologize if that throws you off. I know I should probably be resting, but I couldn't help myself. I need to finish this one because it's just way too interesting to pass off of and not play in a single day. So let's jump right to where we needed to go back to, and that is at the start. Because if you guys remember, we got I think it's the second game over screen in the story where it turns out, just a little bit of a recap, where there are actually 3 people working together in order to let the wolves win, and we finally it was finally unveiled to us who the 2 wolves were. And we were also greeted with a slight twist in the story. As it turns out, at least from the perspective of the wolves, they are in the right and the humans are in the wrong, and that we were in fact mingling with the Yomi-Bitos, Chiemi included. It was alluded to at the end of that particular loop that our protagonist Haruaki himself seemed to have also been dead the whole time, because he was unable to cross the river that would have helped him escape the nightmarish and hellish place he had been sucked into. Whether that is the entire truth of the matter, I doubt it, because we still have a long ways to go. We've only managed to reach, like, let me just show you guys the chart for chapter 3. We only managed to reach this part, and there's still a branch off to the right, and I don't think that May 16th, this particular date, is the final date for this particular chapter, and that is why I am so much curious and interested in moving forward in the story. But in order to move forward, we have to go back to the start right here. Question, recall May 11th, and pick the second option that was unlocked to us. So yeah, a couple of flashback moments. Suddenly a rush of memories flooded into my mind. So let's go and pick Remember Incident, because we have unlocked key number 4. Let's pick that, and that should allow us to branch off of the timeline we had been stuck in. And also we now have the mission of infiltrating the purge, the feast of the Yomi-Purge rather. We have to infiltrate that in order to change the outcome, so it seems that at least that is what Mr. Cheap has told us. So yeah, right, how did I forget? I already experienced this looping phenomenon or whatever. Hold on, looping? What the hell? There's no way something like that could... But if that wasn't it, what else could explain this? How else could I, someone who died once, be alive right now? Technically, you've died several times already. I had clear memories of getting caught up in some strange incident at Yasumizu, and shit, I couldn't remember how it ended. It was like this last time too. My memories were all fragmented. But I did remember that I went to Yasumizu, met the people there, and died. Had I come back here when or because I died? That was a ridiculous idea, but the pain and fear I felt back then was just so vivid and fresh in my mind that I couldn't simply dismiss it as a dream or illusion. There was no point in lying to myself. I was here having experienced something that made me sure I died. It was an incomplete memory from the future. I had no idea why I had it, but I definitely did. So yeah, we still haven't learned why exactly Haruaki is experiencing these things, why he is able to die and transfer his consciousness back to his past self and allow us to choose a different path for him. It hasn't been explained in the path or the route that we had finished, so there really is a lot more to unpack when it comes to this game. I had to come to terms with it first and foremost. The gas tank wasn't empty, but my phone couldn't find a signal and was running out of battery, and my throat was a bit dry, exactly like last time. That meant that I was about to arrive at... Knew it. I really didn't want to meet that employee again, but from what I experienced, she was the only one I'd met before going to Fujiyoshi, so avoiding her probably wasn't a good idea. I'm wondering, why isn't it a good idea? Like, if you already had a recollection that you were going to go through something horrific in the future, why would you not try to avoid that? I mean, Haruaki has been given a fantastic way to avoid everything that would happen to him if he goes to Fujiyoshi. He would probably live, and what happens in that village would not have anything to do with him. So why would he want to go back? I mean, for the sake of Chiemi, that seems so weird. Like, you barely know the person, and it has already been revealed, considering she wasn't able to cross herself, that she's also a Yomi-Bito, but again, that may just be from that particular route, and she might have a different a different fate altogether when it comes to this route. But still, you're being given a chance to turn back and not not give yourself that much of a problem to the point where you might end up dying over and over again. I don't know what's up with you, Haruaki, but yeah, we're still stuck in going to Fujiyoshi. We actually don't have a choice with that. Her attitude was shit, but at least you always did what I asked. Though I really didn't want to drive down that unpaved road again. Then don't. You have a choice. Once again, she greeted her customer in a borderline insane way. It actually made me kinda relieved, and I wanted to believe that was just some trick of the mind. It was just like before. To her, I was just an annoying late-night customer. Oh well, I just buy what I wanted. See, I was actually planning on just fast-forwarding everything up until we got to that point again in the story, to the third chapter of the story, but we won't be able to do that because this is a completely different route, and I believe that everything that's going to happen at this point is going to be completely different from that which we have seen and experienced before, so we can't really fast forward through all of the text. So I have to go through like 2 more chapters in order to get to the spot where we were before.
No
reason. Yasumizu was just desperately poor, and it had me worried. What was her problem? I was a customer. With this much stuff, she had to use the register. Still grumbling, she started scanning the barcodes. Once she was done, I paid and asked, pretending like you don't know, Haruaki.
Huh? Do
you know that you do, though? Also, I think that this character, this clerk, I think that she is going to be one of the important characters as well. I don't believe that she's just a one-time character that just so happens to be the same character that is, as a stand-in for a clerk in a convenience store. She went through the staff door. Like, what if she is the one responsible for whatever it is that we are going through, or whatever it is that Haruaki is going through when it comes to looping back and his consciousness being transferred to his past self whenever something bad happens to him? What if, right? I knew it.
十字路を北へ行け。
ふむふむ。
しばらくしたら立教があっから渡れ。最初の分岐のとこに大岩があっからそこを右折してあとは直線。
Are you gonna ask something relevant, Haruaki?
地図には森しか見えませんが？
I knew that it was. There wasn't even a paved road there. Why'd she recommend the road anyway? If I'd crashed and died, it'd be homicide by negligence.
書かれてねえだけで集落があんだよ。
That wasn't a lie. It wasn't weird for Yasumizu to not be on the map. It was a nearly abandoned settlement in the middle of nowhere. Why did she know about it? Did she live in Kamifujiyoshi or something?
ちょっとバイクじゃきつそうですね。そっちの藤吉村には？
くっそ面倒な峠道で2時間かかんぞ。
Look at how displeased she looks upon the mention of Fujiyoshi.
一応メモっといていいですか？
好きにしろよ。
隣の町は
山2つ向こう。
That's not even close. Man, I couldn't make any sense of the local distance measurements.
ここいらを深夜に無茶すんのは進めねえぜ。
Are you gonna expound on why you wouldn't recommend it? Oh? Actual consideration. Though it was hard to be grateful, she was the one who pointed me in the direction of that shitty road in the first place.
引き返すのも勇気ってやつじゃねえの。
Yes, exactly. If you already know that something bad's about to happen, why are you gonna go and force yourself to go down that route that you already know is dangerous for you? Think about that, Haruaki. Turning back, huh?
まあ考えますよ。どうも。
You wouldn't.
毎度。
あ、そうだ。この辺でローカルな飲み物とかってないです？陳列棚には特にはなさそうでしたけど。
Why would you go looking for drinks?
いや、そこにねえもんはねえ。
Good point. If they don't have any on display, then they probably don't have any. Period.
もしかしたらバックヤードにあるかもしれないなと思って。
あるわけねえだろ。
まあまあ一応見るだけでも。
What are you up to, Haruaki?
待ってろ。
I feel like he's just trying to get her out of the way for whatever reason.
あったわ。
Or not. I thought he was up to something. Seriously? She brought me a 500cc bottle with a black liquid inside. The label looked written by hand and said Wild Plant Cola. I expected nothing and got something huge. This place was amazing.
あ、すみません。荷物だいぶ多くなっちゃったんで、荷台にくくるゴムロープみたいなのないですか？
I feel like he's just, like, asking for things he's gonna need eventually when he reaches the village.
ここはコンビニだぞ。
$5 says she has that rope.
見てくれるだけでいいんで。
待ってろ。
You have to hand it over to this clerk. She's quite patient with Haruaki. Seriously?
せっかくなんで、このメモにあるその他ちょっとしたものたちを一通り
You
見て
should
きて
have
もらえないです
given
か？
her the list when you started asking her for stuff.
いい加減にしろよ、てめえ殺すぞ。
Next time, Haruaki, give her the list first.
ついに殺すって言った？一応で構いませんから。
待ってろ。
あざーす。
I feel like I feel like he's also messing with her a bit.
なんなんだこのコンビニ。
It felt like she was about to kill me, but I successfully came out with pretty much all I needed. Then I just made a run for it. Nice. I opened up the weird wild plant cola. Looking up at the noisy light trap above, I took a sip. It was cool, intense, and had a strange grassy flavor, but wasn't too bad at all. I expected something totally gross, but it was actually a legit drink. Slightly disappointed, I look at the ingredients. Why are you so disappointed that you're not choking on some biohazard of a drink? Cola and plant extract. Now, why didn't we figure that one up? Hold on, cola as an ingredient? Did they just buy cola and mix it in? And plant extract could be anything from fruits to poisonous plants. What the hell? Was this even safe to drink? Well, at least it tasted good. It was probably smart to just turn around and drive away. Yes, it would be totally a smart thing to do so, but we know that he won't do that because we're barely scratching the surface of this game, I feel like, and it'll be weird if we suddenly turn back right now and we have nowhere else to like make a decision from that would branch out this whole story. Entering Fujiyoshi means death. Turn back. Perhaps that was what the loops were trying to tell me. Maybe I ought to listen? But was it really that easy? Who knows? Give it a try. If you're still looping, then at least we would know. I had no real grounds for this, but if the cause of this strange phenomenon was somewhere in the village, perhaps I couldn't break out of the loop until I solved the mystery behind it. But then, if you leave, would that mean that you would have infinite life? Because every time you die, it will just be brought back to whatever past self you have, and you can continue on living. But then again, you would still be living, the same days over and over, just changing whatever happens next. But would that still be considered living forever, right? What would happen if I left then? Would I go on and live out the rest of my days, only to die and come back here? Who knows? Give it a try. Would I return to youth after years of being old? That part didn't sound half bad, actually, but was it really something I could just accept so easily? You would rather go and throw yourself into danger? Really? This was just speculation. But what if I actually hadn't moved an inch from that mountain pass? Was everything from then, now, and until death just an anamortem fever dream, and dying again would just bring me back there? If that was how it was, everything I'd do with my life from this point or onward would be meaningless. Maybe I really should move on only after taking care of whatever was binding me. Also, how could I leave something so strange, unnatural, and incomprehensible and just return to the city? Quite easily, in fact. Just turn around and go back to the city and try to forget things that have happened rather than risking your life over and over again and experiencing death over and over again. I don't see how that is such a hard thing to do. Well, what do you guys think? Should we try to turn back? Pass by Fujiyoshi? Let's try turning back. Out of curiosity, because I'm really, really, really curious what would happen if we turn back. Let's just go and pick that. So much silence. Until I'd finished my drink, the thing guiding me was my good sense, otherwise known as opportunism. Man, what a weird experience that was. Didn't make a good campfire story once I made it back where I belonged. I pushed aside my sense that something wasn't right, my anxiety and my fear, and straddled the seat of my bike. Well, there was another way to look at this. I could try and see whether ignoring it all and running away would actually work, which is, again, what has pushed me to pick that option to begin with. After all, this might end up being the only way to solve the problem. Now I'm really excited what's gonna happen next. I turned the key, opened the throttle, pushed the signal to the left, and connected the clutch. Away I went, starting with the left turn. Anyway, I'd go back up the mountain path. I'd had enough of this ride. I'd return to civilization, eat some normal food, get some decent sleep, and live my boring, everyday life. Just recognizing how precious those things were was more than enough for me. That made this trip all worth it. A dense mist drifted into view. Wait. Don't tell me that even though he's away, he's not in Fujiyoshi, that mist would do something to him. Seriously? He crashed. What? Bad ending number 6. That was the most boring ending that we have gotten thus far. What the heck? Let's not watch Hint Corner because we already know what Mr. Sheep is gonna go and tell us. So let's just open the chart. I pressed the wrong button. There we go. So yeah, infiltration. Let's go to choose route. So we could choose 2 more. Yeah, it was probably smart just turn around and drive away. Entering Fujiyoshi means that. Turn back. Perhaps that was what the loops were trying to tell me. Maybe I ought to listen. But was it really that easy? I had no real grounds for this, but if the cause of this strange phenomenon was somewhere in the village, perhaps I couldn't break out of the loop until I solved the mystery behind it. What would happen if I left then? Would I go on and live out the rest of my days only to die and come back here? Would I return to youth after years of being old? That part didn't sound half bad actually, but was it really something I could just accept so easily? This was just a speculation, so yeah, I think we can skip through this. Yeah, there we go. So now we have only 2 choices left. Pass by Fujiyoshi or enter Fujiyoshi through the normal route. I'm not sure what they mean by normal route. If this is the same, by normal they mean the same exact route that we took. But for the sake of curiosity, let's just go follow how these choices are lined up. So we'll pick the second option, pass by Fujiyoshi. Let's see what happens. As I finished my drink, the idea that I was barely different from just turning around. The idea I had was barely different from just turning around and leaving. Maybe I could pass it by. I was curious what would happen if I ignored Yasumizu, Fujiyoshi, and the clerk's warning and simply drove on past. Wait, why would anything happen? I just continued down the road, right? I believe we already know the answer to that. Why did I feel so uneasy then? After thinking for a moment, I'd arrived at the mindset of eliminating whatever option seemed wrong, which is what we are doing as well. My guess was that this wouldn't take care of the root of the problem. But I was the type who wouldn't believe that until I tried it myself. I turned the key, opened the throttle, pushed the signal to the left, and connected the clutch. Read it right the first time this time. Anyway, I went starting with a right turn. What happens next? The tense mountain path continued for a while. Though I didn't feel like falling asleep, I was definitely becoming more and more exhausted, both mentally and physically. Even in this jacket, the force of the wind going by was doing a number on my body, especially as I kept onward for over an hour. I did, however, see a sign above my head that says, Fujiyoshi. As I decided, I just passed it by, never coming close to Kami Fujiyoshi or Yasumizu. Now I just passed the 2 mountains and reached a town I was told about. Perhaps I should have been more suspicious of the fact that I'd stopped acting on my heart after all. Maybe I was just so tired I couldn't even make such decisions. I could only remember noticing a strange dense mist surrounding. What the hell? So are you saying that no matter what path we took, the mist would always be there? But that was when my brain lost all capacity for perception or judgment. You crashed again, is that it? Are you gonna die because you crashed? Yep. Turning away and trying to pass by Fujiyoshi nets as a game over. Bad ending number 7. Yeah, no, we're not gonna watch Hint Corner. Let's just go back. Infiltration again. Right at the choice. So we really don't have a choice. We can't pass by. We can't make a U-turn. So we're really forced to just go down the same exact route. Skip. Okay. Here we go. We're back at the choice, which isn't really a choice because we now know that both of these options lead to, different bad endings that well, they're basically the same, but ending number 6 and ending number 7. So if you're trying to 100% this game and trying to get all the endings, and yes, you would need to select these two options, even though the correct option in terms of, progressing through the game is the third one. Enter Fujiyoshi through the normal route. As I finished my drink, I made my decision. I'd return there. I'd face that tragedy again. Of course, I was curious about this looping phenomenon, but I did recall what I thought during my final moments. It was something like, if only I'd handled this better. Isn't that what most people who die prematurely think about? Like, if they're at the moment of their death, there are more people who are thinking of redoing their lives and doing better than people who are okay with how their lives turned out at the last moments of, as they lay dying. So I think it's normal for Haruaki to actually think that as he was dying during, the first or the second full loop that we had with this game. And for better or worse, this weird looping phenomenon had given me a chance to do just that. If I went about it all a bit better, perhaps I could get a better ending. Yeah, I don't really know if there is actually a good ending in this game. Maybe not in the sense that it's a happily ever after sort of fairy tale ending. I hope there is, really, because I'm not a fan of tragic stories. Hisako Mamiya, Yudai Hashimoto, Kanzo Magishima, Yoshitsugu Oribe, Takume Muto, the old man who cried wolf, Chikamochi Kamoshida, you're the only one that I really want to save, Chikamochi. Rikaku Uematsu, Kaori Oribe, Kyonosuke Nosato, Meiko. Hell, even Yasunaga Oribe, Tai Yamawaki, and Haru Makishima were just victims of some strange superstition. But I, Haruaki Fusaishi, did not delude myself. I was no hero. I had no powers, no convictions. What do you call your looping phenomenon thing? Isn't that some kind of special power? I was just a dilettante. How do you pronounce that? My only motivation here was a sense of perfectionism. I was annoyed at how many mistakes I had made the first time around. Plus, there was a certain attraction I felt toward the unknown. It was an urge foundational to my being. And I'd be risking my life on its behalf. Really, you're using that as an excuse when we all know that you're just doing this for Chiemi? I wasn't about to pretend I was acting for the sake of others here. Although, Chiemi Serizawa, yep, admitted Haruaki. Though she hated her childhood home, it remained part of who she was, and I wanted to keep that from being tarnished with blood. That motive was perverse, forceful, selfish, lustful, and filthy. And I couldn't let myself forget any of that. I remembered the names of those I'd met, and what I had to do. I turned the key, opened the throttle, pushed the signal to the left, and connected the clutch. Away it went, starting with a right turn.
しばらくしたら立教があっから渡れ。最初の分岐のとこに大岩があっから。Also,
I just want to say the fact that the name of this character still remains a mystery at this point is really making me feel like she has something important to do with the whole thing. Similar to how, I don't know if you guys have played, I hope you have played Persona 4. It doesn't matter if it's the golden Persona 4 golden or the vanilla Persona 4 game, but at the start of that game, or maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm remembering just the golden version of the game. But at the start of that game, the hero, basically the person you're controlling, his uncle needed to needed to gas up their vehicle, and while they were doing so, he met a employee of that gas station, and that employee turned out to be someone intrinsically connected to his fate as as someone who can use a persona, because meeting that person triggered every single event that happened afterwards, and it turns out that person was also the very enemy that they were supposed to be dealing with. And I have, I don't know if it's just because I'm trying to grasp the cliche that I feel are within the story, or they squished into the story, or maybe I'm looking into things too much, but I feel like this clerk would follow that same pattern as the gas station employee from Persona 4. Whether that or not that is true, we will see when we get farther into the game, provided that it would be right, before we are allowed, right there at the spot, I should say, that where we are allowed to show the game, because again, I'm only allowed to stream, record, and upload content for this game up to chapter 4. After that, I can only make videos about theories, talking to you guys about what I think about the game, and also providing non-spoiler walkthrough or guide for this game. So yeah, let's continue on. I think I babbled quite a bit there. I quickly came across it. I could clearly remember this overpass. The large boulder wasn't new to me either, but I wouldn't take that route this time. I just kept on driving, not lowering my speed for a moment. Full speed ahead. Yarg. Where would that take you though? That would mean that he wouldn't meet Chiemi first. He would meet someone else. I drove on the winding mountain path. Strangely enough, my fatigue, though present, wasn't too bad, and my head was perfectly clear. I knew which route to take without even looking at my copy of the map. Or maybe I'd driven through here before? Perhaps this wasn't the first choice I'd made, but one of many? Maybe. I couldn't be sure, and since my memories were so incomplete, nothing was certain. Still, they'd be an asset in the fight ahead. I wasn't going into this unarmed. I could no longer see the moon. If those memories held true, the rain would soon begin. Or would begin soon. Still the same, either way. Ah! So this is as far as we are actually allowed to record. I feel bad. I wanted this to be a lot longer than, what we have, but I think what we have so far is pretty good. It's a lot of videos, actually. I didn't expect for us to reach this many videos, knowing beforehand that I would have to stop at chapter 4. So this means that, the reason why Mr. Sheep is right here is because I actually turned on the warning where he appears, where I have to stop recording the story from this point onwards. So this is as far as I could show you guys what is happening, but rest assured I will be making more videos regarding Raging Loop, because this is just one curious and mysterious. It just tickles my fancy when it comes to stories, and it has a lot of questions that still needs answering. But before I leave you guys, let's talk a little bit about the stuff that we have seen, or I have played. In my case, I have played and you guys have watched thus far. So yeah, we already know the identity of the wolves. We already know that Tai and Yasu are the wolves, and Haru is helping them because she is way too attracted with Yasu, and because she felt, based from what we were told, she felt betrayed, and she disregards the fact that she is also a member of Team Human, or in the viewpoint of the wolves, she is also a Yomi-Bito that needs to be killed. Now, whether or not what we actually saw happened with Chiemi, because if you go back and look at the artwork that was used during the final moments Haruaki had with Chiemi in the previous route that we had, the previous complete route. I'm not talking about the sudden game overs like turning back or moving past Fujiyoshi gave us, but if you look at that picture, you can actually see the Chiemi was sort of disintegrating, that she is turning corpse-like. So whether or not those people in Yasumizu are actually dead and what that means to our protagonist, whether or not that is true, I'm still on the fence about that. I'm still actually on the fence about every single thing that we have learned thus far, because I feel that that's not the entire truth of the story. And if that is, then we have to wonder how exactly would this entire thing play out. What would Haruaki gain from trying to beat the wolves if indeed every single person in Yasumizu is already dead? And also, I'm wondering about this whole thing that's going on with Chiemi as well. Like her sudden shift in persona, especially with the other villagers. I'm not even sure what the whole corruption thing is about. I don't know if every single character in Yasumizu is simply, crazy or something. But we can't deny the fact that there is something supernatural going on in this game because of how Haruaki is looping back and forth, back into the past, because we haven't gone into the future, and what it means that he has these feelings that of sort of deja vu, for lack of a better term, like the last scene that we have, that he feels like he had already traversed the path that he was going on in his bike, even though for us this is actually just the first time we've picked that choice because it was locked to us. So that would mean that if his subconsciousness is already telling him that he has crossed that bridge before, then that would mean that he had actually lived through everything that we have seen and also haven't seen thus far. And that makes it even more interesting because if we go back also to the first meeting we have of Chiemi, we actually have two more choices as well that we haven't picked. So it's interesting just how many branches we would have to go through in order to get to the bottom of what is going on. And it's also curious that I can't remember which episode it is that I have published. Oh, hold on. I can't remember if it was the previous two. I think the second to the last episode I've published before this one, where we saw where Chiemi and Haruaki, I should say, were talking in this room after Kaori was hanged, and they saw that figure standing at an open door, and then bam, suddenly everything was back to normal after that figure delivered whatever riddle she has or he has for Chiemi, because whatever it was, daughter of Yasumizu couldn't be Haruaki, so whatever was said, it was for Chiemi's sake. So whatever that riddle is, I feel like that scene is also important, as is if you guys remember as well, in the ending that we got before the random endings, the main route ending, should I say that? Is that what it's called? I don't know. But the route where, before we got thrown back into this whole choice of whether going forward or back or passing by Yasumizu, but that particular ending, there were three wolves as well, and I don't think that just because you agree to helping the wolves that you would turn back into the wolf or turn into a wolf. So it's curious that there are three wolves in that shot or in that artwork. And it's also curious that Haruaki mentioned that he didn't hear a splash. Now I'm not sure what bearing that is. Like I've been thinking, like, what, is there someone below who is taking the corpses, or is Takumi actually alive? Which is weird because Haruaki actually saw it and he explained to us and described to us the state of Takumi's corpse. So it's impossible that he is still alive. But what does it mean, and to the whole story, that he didn't hear a splash sound? Could it be possible that what Haruaki believes, or what he is said earlier that perhaps he's actually dying somewhere and this is just all a figment of his own deranged mind or something, and that he is stuck in that sort of limbo because there's something he needed to accomplish. If that is the case, then this is one hell of a trippy game. So yeah, I don't really know where the story is going to go from here. I do know, based from what we were told so far, that we would have, and based on the title as well, that we would have to infiltrate the feast of the Yomi-Purge and try to change the outcome. But how are you going to convince people who are so wary of you without without them getting suspicious of you to pick the correct choices? And if he's trying to save, I don't know, if he's trying to save even the wolves, let's keep calling them that, even though he doesn't seem to think of them as a bad guy. But if he's trying to save them, then how is he going to go about that? How is he going to break the tradition that these people are forced, or they don't really know anything else but their tradition? So how is he gonna break that? And should he even? And also, what is causing him his loop? Is my theory of the clerk, the store clerk, the mini mart clerk involved in some way true? I still think that it is, because I mean, every single character here seems suspicious, but she seems to know what is going to happen, because although, if you consider that she did tell Haruaki that turning back is also courageous, but we did try that and we still end up dying and getting a game over. But I still feel like she is either from Kami Fujiyoshi or the other village that not Fujiyoshi, but the other one, the one that is 2 mountains away. Maybe she's from there, and maybe she knows what is going on with Kami Fujiyoshi and Yasumizu. And oh my god, I really want to continue playing this game with you guys and sharing with you guys what's going on. But yeah, this, as Mr. Sheep says, is the end of the line. But again, I will be making a walkthrough for this, so for all of you who are depending on these uploads and to get the sense of what you should do and how to unlock certain keys and certain endings, you don't have to worry. I will be making that, although it would be a spoiler free walkthrough, because I have been recording and writing down every single choice and consequence that we have encountered thus far, and I will keep doing that until the end of this game and until I upload my walkthrough for the keys and also for the choices and the endings, because if you're playing this on the PS4, then it does have trophies involved in it. And as a trophy hunter myself, although I'm playing this on the Nintendo Switch, as a trophy hunter myself, I know how it feels, when those accomplishments, a notification pop up. So yeah, I'm gonna help you guys try to platinum this game to the best of my abilities. But yeah, this is the end of the line. This is as far as I can show you guys in terms of the actual content of the game. So yeah, it's quite sad, but I do hope that if you found this game interesting, and if you have a PlayStation 4, and if you have a Nintendo Switch, that you would support P-Cube Games and Camco with this and buy this game and enjoy it for yourself, because it really is an interesting game. And as you guys can see, how can you let it, just end right here? You gotta know the ending to this game. You gotta know the full story, the whole truth when it comes to this game. So yeah, this is as far as I could go, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you all for watching. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye now. What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content of this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to let me know. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to be a part of the Dreamer Tribe, just hit on that subscribe button. We also have tons of different content here on my channel, so be sure to check those out. Until the next video, dream on, fly on.